for. As we're going for it. I want to go. First of all, only with Seized and Smoke as well as a kit. Coldzera though, not really interested in that. Finding himself Seized in the end. That is the first player down. Hobbit hears those steps. Now he needs to become the USPS king. No chance. So he takes him down. Doja to be the one at least finds Fallen. That B side control. Fairly easy taken. Only Adrenal life. At least that one shot he's getting. There it goes. Oh no, that was fairly fast, fairly easy. No crazy stuff. Aska Gaming doing it all right here. Just to give you kind of an insight about this map, well, it comes down to Mirage. What we have to really bear in mind is that both teams are not really good at it. 15 times SK have played it, 15 times Gambit have played it. Both are not over 50% win rate on Mirage. So, how is this going to turn out? I'm very excited to see. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen here. A lot of ground Seized has taken. Doesn't hear any steps though, but it could be that one player to change that one out. Dren sees the head of Fallen, rips it off. Clear and clinical. Dren, he might just find himself more perfect headshot angle, whilst from behind we see Seized coming. Is he being expected from anyone? He waits. Oh, this patience is crucial. Gets himself Coldzera. That bomb is down, and so pressure starts to build up onto Gambit Esports. As only Fur is alive, and he has to fight against 3 players from the CIS region, with Doja, Seized, and Adren having control over the site, over the bomb, and over most of the directions. Seized hits the right timing, and there goes the first round in favor of Gambit, after SK started off with a quite flawless and quite strong pistol round. It's gonna be Doja and Co. taking home number 2. That control now gained. Those guns on SK are logically not the strongest ones. The nade goes deep. Should hurt SK's Stewie fairly well, but they're all burning away either way. Only Bolt's alive. Flawless in 25 seconds, found 4. One more to go. Seized should see him in a second. Rather waits. All Seized said. Let's Seized react. First of all, that is a 2-1. Not too much of a surprise. Eco coming in from SK now. 3-1 will be secured. And then the buy comes back in favor of the Brazilian site. Those Glocks, I mean, one coordinated aggression towards one site, yeah, that could be a legitimate option. They rather try to hit players off guard. Free HP as it bounces off the head of Fur. It's not the happiest life you're gonna have. Stewie can do it together with Fallen to pick up an AK. Taking that back though, it didn't work out in the end, as Adren is already into free, secures the 4th. That's the ace that. Now it's against that, 100%. And so it will be one frag only coming in from his side, but SK back on the AKs. And if you joined us earlier, we were having an interview together with SK Swanee, the analyst of the right now terrorist team, and he said, with the addition of Stewie, we need to take our time because we need to somehow find our way with new and more structured plays. That's basically what he said, and Swanee's someone who really sticks to the words he speaks. So, with that being said, what he basically meant is they need a more structured approach, as Stewie and Co are trying to now work around it to have more set executes. With that being said, Fur finds himself seized, bringing it back to a 4 versus 4 with the A site being nearly 100% clear. Fallen was just about to find Hobbit. Oh, and that looked like the angle could have been 100% on, but it wasn't the case. Fallen taken out, 3 more are alive. Our Gambit able to extend their lead. Will SK finally strike? That being said, Fur finds himself a Dren. Another frag comes in from Bolts. There it gets dangerous. Only Fur is alive. They need to find the player. Mo has the kit. You can come in there in time and defuse that thing right the way you need to do it. 4-1 SK Gaming cannot secure the one they were looking for, and that brings them at least a few nice dollars there in the bank accounts due to the bomb plant and the good frags they've done. And as we see, coldzera, Fur, Fallen, all of them back onto a very decent buy. Something you really grant them. So you can still make it work with that. It would be unfortunate to see how Gambit then gets himself the number 5. Dren, there he stays on the top, tries to find himself the first, does that together with Mao. On the top, there's a Bolt reacting in time, and there once more, so focused on that A site. That's so well done. We barely saw B side aggressions. But can't connect there onto coldzera. Bolt's just waiting behind the piece of wood. Hoping for the right timing. One finds Mao. That's not going to be the case. Gambit, they will not secure the number 5 for themselves. Has fallen. There's a part the chest of Seized. Only Doja's life. There's the kind of point in time where you want to hide yourself. He doesn't want to do it, right? No, he doesn't. Could have started to run earlier. He could have even made it because every player is so far away from it. But either way, Gambit, they give SK the first. And there Doja survives with an AK in hand. He brings it to the next round. And I have to say, and the thing I really have to say, is that I need to give a shout out to whoever is doing the observing here on the Ruhub site. Thank you very much. You're doing that very good. And you're making my life much, much easier. Because most of the time, I just use auto-director, or have to click through the players on my own. That's usually a bit of a stress. With that being said, Seized. Standing there behind smoke, getting taken out by Fur. He probably saw, but they're through the gap. Esports. One player less and 2 ops right now. Positioning is fairly well split up. It takes control of the apartments, the other op back behind the ticket booth. SK just waiting to do it all coordinated together. Right timing, with the right execution, with the right bit of utility. And as those smokes are now popping, Mo won't see a thing. Doesn't hit the first shot, which could have been very crucial, and Doja, he's aware where Bolts is standing. That information given away to Adren, and Doja finds that frag onto Bolts. There's the flashbang working out perfectly, and Stewie's taken out, but coldzera's still alive. 3 players left onto Gambit. There's smoke fades. Fallen can react in time, though. Does he have the right angle to find Doja, though? That's the kind of question we need to ask ourselves. coldzera has a tiny gap for the wood to look through. Both players' positioning is quite well done. Hobbit takes his time, goes for a good smoke. Blocks off the vision. Gapping it. Passing their so-called Zero on his own to be the last one on the site. They tried to build up that crossbar. One coming in from Hobbit needs to turn around because there's still an op behind him. But he just pulls through. He just pulls through and there's just 2 more seconds. 1 more second. Fallen, are you coming in time? He does. And shoots in the back of Hobbit. Possibly just a few milliseconds away till that bomb would have been defused. But SK Gaming secure the third by the Opper having the right kind of timing on this. Only Deagles on the CIS site. Not much more than that. If they can make it work with that, I highly doubt it. It would be lovely to see, on the other hand. I mean, you consider it. I'd love to see those Deagle shots. I'm a big fan of those because I'm a horrible Deagle player myself. Or sometimes I'm an okay Deagle player, but in case they would be working right now, that would be lovely to watch. Oh, taken out. Fur to be the one rips off his head. Now Doja as well as Adren. Well, the only one back off the Deagle. Hobbit onto the ZZ. Adren thinks twice, went to peek. The Molotov. How close does it come? Does it spread towards him? The other question doesn't seem to be the case. Lucky enough that this time the Molotov at Counter-Strike is not mean to you. Sometimes that happens. But right now they rather keep the armor to themselves. Doja, if I'm not totally wrong, yeah, he has full body armor, so only $350 he would need to upgrade to full armor, so rather not take the risk. And wait it out back on the B site. With that being said, 4-4, Gambit. We had like we had that already. The story is kind of similar. What we used to have. 4-1. And with that being said, Mo in the middle with the op doesn't see a thing. All 3 players on the Brazilian side are going full throttle. Interested in aggression. Adren doesn't see a thing, and they're on the spot and on shore before everything started. Doja stops him though, as he's not interested in having any kind of guys just back on his site. They don't belong there. Get away with those aggressors. As Adren and Doja don't have the opportunity to do it on his own. He's on his third already. Possibly interested in more. Does this become an X-God ace? Possibly. What's behind? Don't knife him. Doja, don't do it. He doesn't, and he aces it on his own. Takes down Fallen. And that is the X-God flexing as much as he can to show that he's the only god on the server. 11-2. And the IGL performing perfectly right now. And what we have to say about this is that this back and forth once more, we had it similar back already on the first map, or excuse me, on our second map, Train. 16-14 on cash was already very tight. I mean, the entire situation right here is just tight from start to finish, but on Train it felt a little differently. Right now we might just have the same thing here once more. Stewie finds himself a Dren. Crucial frag happening. That being said, Cease gets Fallen. 3 versus 4. The CT site, not the strongest one right now. As Mount, yeah, players coming from left, right, and center. Hobbit needs to do it on his own. Rips off the head of bolts, fairly good. 60 more seconds though, so no time pressure really on the SK Gaming side, and a great crossfire they have built up. They try to fake it out. Hobbit, no chance against Fur. He follows you around even for the box. And I mean, you have to say, this entire matchup, it's not similar like we had it back with Virtus Pro and Avant-Garde, because then it was 16-3, 16-3, and 16-13, whilst this first map was 16-14. Train was 19-17, 1 overtime. Right now we're back on a 5-5 scoreline. An eco on Gambit Esports. Not looking too brilliant, at least a gun picked up here. Fur taken out. Some decent headshots in the back of the new neck hitbox. Thank you very much, Wolf, by the way. Props out, shout out to you. Maybe you can fix another few problems. I'm sure Don Hachi knows a few. Either way, 5-5 with SK Gaming with that kind of buy. Didn't have too much of a problem on securing. It's another one. Hobbit still low, tries to go for it, falling down low HP, same goes for bolts. Doja could try to pick up that AK. As he does the run for CT, goes to Hobbit's corpse and picks it up. Fallen is not interested in it and rips off his head. 6-5. That's 6-5 right now. I mean, it could be once more Gambit picking up. It's that back and forth that really makes this so credible. You're seeing it right here. And a ceased finding Fallen. coldzera getting CISO in the return. Those Moss shots. It's a horrible spray pattern. It's 25 bullets. It's not the best thing to really work with. As Doja finds coldzera, only Fur as well as Stewie alive. That bomb's going down. 18, 45, and 100 left on the Gambit site. Not a single kit we're seeing at that point in time. That means the retake has to be fast forwarded just a little. 3 plays around it. Finds Doja by accident, I think, as he just shoots for the smoke, not even intentionally. That happening right now. 2 more are hiding themselves. That will be a tough retake. First one to find. Fur just relaxes. As he finds himself one, finds himself Hobbit as well. And that means Fur with the 4K cleaning it up and giving SK another round to work with in the end. And as it goes, and as we're at it, the 7-5 scoreline is right now looking just brilliant for SK as it goes further and further that way. Fur just done his job on a regular basis. It is coldzera doing his job. Fallen also kind of woke up, as during the first map he was not doing a brilliant job, but from then on it looked like, well, he was still kind of sleepy, but already on it. You usually expect more from Fallen, you have to say that. You have to unfortunately mention that. But 9-8, he's doing fine right now. With Fur on 15-7. With that being said, I mean, when we take a look at it, 5-10 is a little bit of a surprise. You usually know Stewie in another kind of shape, in another kind of manner. That side of 8 easily taken. Hobbit just hops on the site, tries to maybe find 1 or 2. All the steps from CT, they probably have been heard right now. Stewie finds himself 1. It's already on the double. Fur, Fallen, and Co should not have too much of a problem. There was a little bit of a... what? A Fur to be seen. is very sneaky about this. Could find himself. coldzera is not able to do so in the end. And then Doja as well as Adren with those deagles. Not much more to come. Doja has the awareness. Doja has not the right accuracy to take down coldzera. 7-5 turns to 8-5, and that just means SK Gaming already found themselves that first half. And it's time for Gambit to get on that ref limiter. Step on the gas and make it look... not crazy. Make it look well structured. That is what we have seen previously from Gambit. So we're already very close to the base site with that kind of movement. It's a few meters away. And that Molotov didn't make it work. Hops out, finds Hobbit. Weakens the B site a little. So it's only Adren. Back in the corner, finds himself a double. That bomb is now in his favor, whilst coldzera though takes him out. That was a very nice defense we've just seen there through connector, and I'm sure Seized has heard bolts. From that point on, it shouldn't be too hard to take out the Brazilian. Very casually stands open on the side. Seems like no one checks for Seized. There he finds the first, and there he finds the second together with Doja. That's patience. That's trigger discipline, and that's an op not being found in the end by the one who was jumping towards it. 8-6 though, and Gambit have the opportunity to get only a 1-round disadvantage out of this. And I mean, oh no. The backstab onto the American. You're not welcome, Stewie. No, just kidding. But there he finds himself Mo, the first one to get. Beautifully done it. And gets him with ease, though, as he was only down to something around 30 HP. Wasn't too hard to put a few bullets into him. Ends up getting bolts through the corpse. Fur finds himself Seized. But as we see right now, SK have 2 low HP players onto themselves. A good spray, and both are taken out fast. Whilst we're seeing that, though, B-side is going to be aggressed. Already control has been found by coldzera. But tries to keep the attention all onto him. That was well executed. coldzera, oh, he comes from behind. And does he find Hobbit? No, he keeps his trigger unsqueezed. Finds one. And that now brings it only down to Adren to take out 2. Back in the apartments of Fallen waits. The Molotov too late. Here's Fallen rotating back, and coldzera has no hard time finding this. 9-6, and SK Gaming with a 3-round advantage, having a good start over there on the CT site. Because what you have to mention regarding SK Gaming, like said, they have played this map 15 times in the past 3 months. Besides that, throughout those 15 times, they have a difference, and now it comes a percentage point difference in CT to T site. Around 20%. Around 20 percentage points. Around 25 percentage points, actually. No. Am I lying? I don't. I do? No, I don't. Around 20. Okay, we just go with around 20. Quick maths never been my thing. With that being said, I mean, the CT site should just now be extremely well done for SK. The Brazilians should not have a problem closing this case. coldzera talking about and finds a beautiful shot onto Adren. Bolts back on the side, comes around. The support just arrives, Seized to take out. Not working in the end. And coldzera found also by Doja there. The defense got a little weaker, falling there onto Doja though. So Malin only Seized a few more pistol bullets. Now exactly only one more to find. Stewie takes him out. The double digit secured right now for SK. And the economic advantage is there as well. And that rush B didn't really work. Hard to imagine that mid control against well-equipped long-range players It's gonna be granted with success. It's Fallen stays there in middle. Hopes Doja or someone similar considering to peek. Talking about though, Fur finds Doja in the process. From underpass, a Hobbit comes. And Adren also finds Stewie. Adren finds one, Fallen finds Adren though, and the back and forth is back at it. 2 players alive for Gambit are just actually too many regarding how many individuals are back in the coffin for SK. Now only Mao with 13 HP. Not the golden times for him, HP wise, armory wise, utility wise. There he gets taken out. Fallen switches over to the M4, and the 11-6 is there. The bomb plant is though helping their economy. Off Gambit a good bit. And with that being said, I seriously can't wait how Gambit will start to strike once they got themselves decent guns on the board. Because SK will probably achieve another team damage, first of all, with Fallen hitting bolts. That's why never knife during the first few seconds. Unnecessary risk. Why would you do it? Fallen, he doesn't even take damage. They all throw grenades down the middle. None of them deal anything. Sad story for buying up that $300 HE, but either way, towards chair, Doja stands. Doja probably found very soon. Forgets him. Gambit rotates over to the A side with only those standard pistols, you could say. I mean, we got a Deagle there onto Hobbit, a P250 onto Seized, but nothing else they're carrying around, so Stewie should have not a hard time finding all of them. Talking about it, only one he gets, that's Adren falling. From underpass, it's a Fur hitting his teammates. Right, sure way, now put a bullet into Cold Zero, but he finds Hobbit at least, so not too nervous there in the end. Head being ripped off. 4K he gets. Double amount of rounds on the board for SK. Now there will be a real buy coming in. And obviously the team is not really interested in messing that up. There's a major difference, or let's at least say a really good difference between both of the teams and the amount of rounds they have gathered so far. That means Doja and Co. How good are they now able to come back into this? Does the new IGL, the old new kind of IGL, have the right kind of approach for the team, especially against the roster of SK, which is recently not so strong, but still, you can't call SK a weak team. That's not possible. Fallen interested, taking a good aggression here, going into the window right now. Might find himself the first shot, not the case, not even lacked Adren there. So the B side is open. Koldura does not take the peek towards Hobbit. Smoke. There, it allows him to. Doesn't hit a single shot though, and sees there in middle was also quite aware. Time is ticking away. Adren is already on the site. Fur rotated over. Gets his hat ripped off there by the CIS player. Only 3 more alive for SK. The CT's having a bit of a problem right now. Because besides the situation of losing this round, the economic situation isn't better either. 2.2, 3.5. It's okay, but it's not really worth going for any contacts right here. Instead of playing it safe and keeping it together for a few moments. That's at 6-12. It's going to turn to 7-12. SK Gaming will have a decent buy coming up next. That's not the problem. It's a little bit confusing to see though. 12 rounds being picked, 19 totally played, and bolts only on 5 frags. That's a little bit of an unusual sight, to be very fair. Whilst we also see Stewie only onto 10, coldzera only onto 16, whilst Fur is just rocking it right now. It's time for Gambit, now to play by the book and to be on the scene. As you logically want to find your way back into it, with the focus towards middle, as well as towards the B side, and only a Doja holding himself in front of A-Rams, so none of the SK players are even daring to take any ground, any aggression, any bit of space that belongs to the Gambit side. At the same time though, middle is left fairly open. coldzera went up the ladder room, first should see seized and takes him down there in the end. So the man disadvantage now onto Gambit Esports. SK, they can now make it work. Though the terrorist economy is still fine, the following up round will look okay for Doja and Co. It's very crucial to now establish dominance. Gambit players all moving towards the B side. Balls should very soon realize it's getting a little bit tricky there over on B. The players pushing out in just a second. Molotov comes, first one to come in for coldzera. Bolts doesn't see a thing. Bolts isn't being spotted out either. There he is towards bench. His teammate dies. One needs to jump out. Movement options fairly low. Fallen flames away a Hobbit. Doja gets back on the site. Fallen with another shot, getting himself a double already. There's the Molotov in combination with the AWP are working right now. Too early with that flashbang, trying to bait out Mo. He keeps his eyes peeled though. So only the Kazakhstan player right now to rule this out for his team. Fur now gave himself away. 9 more seconds. You don't have any time to play with. This is going to be you or SK, and it is definitely SK. 13-7. Gambit Esports are going to invest as much as they can in this round, but afterwards they'll be down on the eco because the minimum losing bonus will then just start to strike. 0, 0, 150. The best of a situation. .25 left. They're taking their time. Mid aggression is the focus right now of Gambit with those AKs having onto themselves. While the bomb doesn't peak too much, Adren rather goes over the ARAM side whilst the teammate of Doja is already in Palace and holding that angle for himself. No loss in the process though. But Fur taken out, and that is a crucial fragger right now. Fallen though with the op, striking at the right point in time. Fallen with the double finding Hobbit as well. That means Doja as well as Adren have now gained control of the A site. As the Opper was taken out, that bomb will go down. 2 AKs, sorry, correcting that, with 1 AK, 1 M4. Adren has been spotted, down to 33 he is, whilst Doja still looking good with the health. Doja, they're not having him on the radar right now. Bolt gets taken out. There's one more to go. 33 and 28. A single shot you need to take down coldzera. Is Adren able to do so? Yes, he does. And he secures Gambit once more, the one they've needed. And so SK, economically down, the eco needs to come in at that point. It directly rushing through, full throttle. SK Gaming probably not having too much of a chance. Talking about that though, Bolts finds at least seized. After UMP, they have fully invested. My eyes have tricked myself, thinking that they will not go for the eco.
Bomb has been planted.
Fallen, Fur, and the rest. I mean, they have invested into full armor. They rather try to save that $1,000 hope that next round they'll be able to once more achieve something decent with it. Only Bolt has been taken out. We might try to find a Dren. He sees the barrel of him. Doesn't find him in the end. Fallen there as well as Fur. Securing themselves a good bit of frags here. Fur pushes through, gets taken out, but one rifle should be there onto Fallen. Talking about it, the $1,000 investions all given away. That is SK Gaming. Still on number 13. Gambit gets closer and closer. There it is, only a single MAC-10. USPS is pretty much on the rest. Gambit shouldn't have a hard time taking that one, and then they will be on double digits. 3 rounds away from their opponent. Seized. He just saw Stewie pass in there. Cold Zero's aggression has not been rewarded as a Dren takes him down in the end. The MAC-10, not successful enough. So Fallen. The rest of the team all moving towards the side of A. Even that backstab from Stewie doesn't work. Only Bolt's alive. And there they are. Gambit's aggressions have been working fairly fine so far. The last few rounds, it's a repetitive pattern. You have that during the late game. It is actually one of the teams coming back, the one that's actually down. Gambit, they're right now showing us down. SK Gaming have the issue. You know, 3 rounds in a row. Their losing bonus will be okay, but they're pretty much down to $0. Besides that, no AWP, no kit, no head armor. No defuse kit. Yeah. No kit, of course. And Hobbit, together with his teammates, Seized, trying to take that mid control. 1 already left on the clock. A lot of utility already given away. Main focus doesn't shift at all. Adren is fairly successful right now when it comes down to controlling the apartments. And now the call comes. B-side is clear. He can come. Adren hides himself behind bench. It's a little bit tricky because in every single corner, one understand player could await. Adren finds one, takes down Cold Zero. Fallen is patient, rips off his head. A few more are coming towards you though, Fallen. You need to be very cautious about it. Rips off one. And suddenly, only Mao as well as Doja are alive, bringing it only to Fur. Over short he comes. Now he has been spotted. Thinks Doja there through the wall, but can't finish it off. That is Adren doing an insanely good job for the team, going first onto the B site, going fast onto the B site, and it opens the big gate to get that bomb down. I mean, what's better than opening the gate to get the bomb down? Even finding himself then 2 frags, that is even better. Well, it magically survives there as the smoke blocks the vision of some of the Gambit players. Either way, mid-focus, they once more get themselves. Close-range duels in Connector is something that can end very badly when you fight against these Zeds. Gambit, they put up the resistance. They're lacking a few rounds. Take a look at it. Fur, Cole start off with a 9-6 half and then got the 3 continuous starting ones. That was brilliantly done. From then on, Gambit came back into this. Bolt's just getting his entire body ripped apart. Also no chance for Fur. Doja expects you. Seized does the same. 12-3 is determined. But can Gambit tie this one? This double op setup coming in from Fallen Cold Zero, it's gonna get interesting, because that's a major investment SK Gaming does. Maximum losing bonus has been hit. That's yours now. Maximum losing bonus, I mean, money is a nice thing. It doesn't win your rounds, necessarily. Hobbit, he definitely saw Fur and his teammate rotating out of connector. Oh, and that's not really good control! That has Fallen taken out! Balls can't do anything about it! And Hobbit, who's there assisting in middle, becomes the perfect assistant to take down the short glare. As Fur is not able to connect those shots. SK looked brilliant. And suddenly, they're running out of their win streak. Running out of something magical. All still down to 7 frags. Fur onto 27, though. Their Hobbit rips off the head of Stewie 2K. 13-13. That tie is secured. Gambit has a big stack of money left. It's not looking the other way around like that. Not at all. As SK can get themselves into a minimum investment. Fur gets himself that MP9. A few nice pistols here and there, but that's pretty much it for the moment. As we're seeing it. It goes for the smoke, goes for the short Molo as well. So the only one who could do a little bit of a change here would be Cold Zero at the moment in time. Finds himself the corner, tries to use that. How aware is seized. There he rips his head off. Right timing. Zero got a good watch, it seems to be. That was the right second to do the peek. And Gambit with a player less. Still looking better regarding the armory, the weaponry, utility-wise in total. No kit, by the way, onto SK, and 45 more seconds still left onto Gambit. So that aggression towards the B side, here it comes. Baltz with one. That is C's taken out, and the bomb's now in favor of the Brazilian site. Doja does the jump. Unexpected for Baltz, 100%. There he jumps down. Fur gets himself Doja, but not much more than that. 2 versus 3. The Brazilians, including Stewie, they have that advantage. That bomb will go down, though. Stewie is silent and sneaky as the American special agent. Adren doesn't turn around, and Mo is being taken out by Cold Zero. That is the 14-13. That was once more not so expected. Gambit doesn't care, at least economically, though. That investment, no problem at all. Oh my dear SK, oh my dear SK. Same goes for Gambit, basically, because, I mean, Adren, first of all, onto 21, 29, 19. Great job he does, especially the entry frags towards the B side. Found himself so far. Opened up great opportunities for Gambit. 6 rounds in a row they have won here. It looked like they might just taken over, grab the steering wheel again, stop the oversteering. SK is back. It's getting slippery for Gambit right now. Especially in case SK is winning this, their economy won't be the best. Let's see if that will be the case though, or if we will have another overtime like we had back there in Train. So we have a fairly aggressive angle. It's a very big repetition with the place towards connector. This time no Cold Zero though. Deep Nate that hurts Cease and Hobbit fairly good. Mid control, the bomb back in T-spawn. A very, very similar play Gambit does most of the time. Their default is very interesting to see. They try to hit anyone there in middle, then check if they can find someone connector, and if that isn't working, go with it. Adrendo! Oh, those shots onto Fallen and Stewie! That was a bit of a surprise that he also got Stewie there as well. Tries to peek, same headshot height though. That's making it easy then for Dren. Finding himself the double. He's on the 30k right now. Doja finding Fur as well. coldzera as well as Bolts. They need to retake that on their own with 3 players alive. Excuse me, with 5 players alive and 2 only on the SK side. 3 HP there onto Seized. Mo into 42, but that retake really impossible. The issue that occurs though, economic reset. 14-14 for coldzera and Stu. Will not be really able to buy anything up. With that being said, you're not having the most comfortable time. No time to get dilettante. No opportunity to give your opponent anything. 32-19. Dren is on point. This guy is doing everything right now to keep Gambit alive in that one. It's lovely to watch, but take a look closely. Take a look at those bank accounts SK Gaming has to offer us. 1.5, 1.4, they're forcing through 100%. Everything else would be a big surprise. And as I'm saying, it's ugly. It really is unfortunate and ugly to see how the economy developed there for SK. After they've done not so strong job so far. And I said in the beginning of this half that statistically SK Gaming is good on the CT side, and they are. Once more, over 20 percentage points they're better on the CT side when we're going down to statistics. Still, they're not really showing us that, whilst Gambit is not a majorly dominant team on the T side as well. As it goes. Classic setup, 3 players towards middle. This time, 2 are coming over top mid from underpass, but C's already rotating back. No hopes to find anyone as early as possible. In the left-hand side corner, though, first stands. Goes back. So 3 players are fortifying that A site, whilst Gambit makes the move over there. We'll try to pluck off a few heads. Left, right, and center. 50 more seconds. That execution is going to happen ASAP. The smokes are going to pop in a second. The main one coming in here for Bolts. Not quite sure how much it's going to hold off there from Gambit, though, as it should fade fairly soon. The time is ticking low, but still enough time, enough buffer to get easily on that site. Will SK bring the number 15 if just those pistols or not? Stewie will be the first one, gets aggressively in, finds himself Doja, and that is a big advantage point. Bolts finds Hobbit as well, and SK Gaming, they might be back on track. Bolts doesn't see a thing and finds Mo as well, which brings it into a situation where only Adren and Seized are alive. That bomb needs to go down. Seized goes aggressively. Does Seized get denied? He does, and that is no bomb plant for Gambit, while we're seeing Adren back squatting in the corner, scared on his own. How unfortunate it can get. $15-14. Gambit really needs that timeout. They have the money. That's not the problem. They can invest. They can get themselves the guns they like to. They could even get an auto sniper onto Hobbit if they would love to. But they just got demolished. This ambled Stewie was the one who's done an insane job right here. Finding the player up into Palace, taking him down, and having another additional great angle to shut down the aggression on the A site. And this is the problem then when you play it in the last 30 seconds. Very usual problem, because you have no more space, no more time. There's not an open window to rotate over to the other site. Non-existent. And now the question will be, we have a 16-14. Or not. Fallen up on the bench. Smoke denies any vision. For finding himself Seized. We have another 16-14. We go in overtime. How will that B aggression let by Adren work out. Molotov, first of all, blocks the movement here. I'm gonna have to wait a few more seconds. No one on short, though, to hear those sounds. Been very, very useful at that point in time. Mo, who stands back, though, onto short. And he be taken out. The nade does its job well. Molotov coming down. Over short. Now a Mo arrives. Fallen. Accuracy is on point with one. And so he needs to find himself a few more there in that situation. He could be outmoved here. Gets the one onto Adren as well. Up into the apartments, another one is. And Stewie finished it off, 16-14. And SK advanced to the finals of the Adrenaline